Good evening. Beautiful to see you. It is. Oh, it's the 1st of December, ladies and gentlemen. 1st of December 2020. My word, this year has shot. It's just shot, man. I mean, it's gone so fast. I mean, this year has gone because everyone's been worried about this and worried about that and worried about the boogeyman and oh my word, 2020, as far as I'm concerned, can do one. It can go and gel on. Nice to see you all. Lukey Allen. Hello, mate. We're going to be talking tonight about all these things that we've had over the years, right? I mean, I'm 53. When I think back in my lifetime, we've had the AIDS virus, which was transferable through body fluids and shared some good news on my wall, mate. Have you? What's happened then, Don? What's happened? What's your good news? Oh, I like good news. Lukey Allen, lovely to see you, mate. How you doing? Yeah, so AIDS was a bit of a concern. You know, I was a young man. My kids were young, and it was the 90s. I was a dad. In 1988, I was a dad. You don't look 53, boy. Oh, yeah, I am. Yeah, 50. 50 for I'd look even young if I shaved my little facial hair off. I like giving it to me missus like that. She rubs her up. She gets a little rash on her face when I give her a little kiss. So what's your good news then? Anyway, so yeah, AIDS was like, oh, this is a bit tasty. But people got on, they've done this and that. And I mean, I think AIDS and HIV is a pretty much quite controllable thing now. And then we've had, from off the top of my head, you might want to add some more. Now, when I was a kid, I had chicken pox, I had the flu, I had measles. Yeah, we had measles, you're picking them little scabs off. Got my class 2 back. Go on, sweetheart. Well done. Good for you. Did you have some issues then? Did they try and take it off you? License, actually, the word license is... So a license is when you get a license for whatever, you're asking to break the law. And then all they have to do is catch you in the act of something, and then boom, that's why we get into so much trouble. And that's a definition of licentious behaviour. It's just a big shout. I've just found out tonight, someone that I know, I love him dearly. He's one of his families in the Met, and they've just issued a guy of a £10,000 fine, and that ain't right, man. That ain't right. Just £10,000 fine. Fucking hell, excuse my French. Should never have a government that can fine us to do anything. For any leave off. And only, of course, if you've got a government of tyranny. But they can't see it, but who knows. So, yeah, we had AIDS. We've had, in my life, I'm trying to think after AIDS that have been a bit tasty. We've had H1N1. We've had SARS. We've had bird flu. We've had swine flu. There's all sorts of things that have been in and around. And we've all had these scenes on the telly, people walking around in suits, hazmat suits, and testing in laboratories, bending people over and sticking thermometers up their bottoms and all that. Makes it look really good, doesn't it, on the TV? But throughout, none of that. And it don't matter how bad it got. And some of these things have been, I can remember, I think it was swine flu, where they killed all the animals. They was burning animals, and there was funeral pyres everywhere, smoke going off left, right, and centre, and everyone just got on with their thingy. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But this current time period is the only one, and I actually think it's a big test to see how much we're prepared to take before we actually say no and kick back. Never before us there's been words like lockdown and fines for daring to leave your house and go for a walk or do whatever, and then a copper comes up to you and hocks you, hands up, and gives you a £10,000 fine. It's disgraceful. That is just, I wouldn't pay it anyway. I really wouldn't. But so we've had a lot of it's it's a weird old situation, isn't it? Catch you live, free speech warrior. How you doing? You all right? I'm just going to reply to my mate's text. Bear with me. So yeah, £10,000 fine. I'm very pleased to be in a group called it's a Kent group. There's a lot of people on it actually. You'll be surprised. We've got people from Rainham, Sevenoaks. I must be pushing Sevenoaks, but they're all coming together and they're adding people like there's no tomorrow. It's like it's really really good. I'm quite encouraged by what these lockdown measures. Apparently, all the gyms and hairdressers can open back up again tomorrow. You can't make it up, can you? And if there was truthfully a deadly thing, you'd shut the schools, you'd shut this, you'd shut that. Pretty much no one would be going anywhere because generally I don't think anyone would be wanting to go anywhere, would they? If you were seeing all your neighbours dropping dead in front of you, I think genuinely your common sense would kick in and you'd be like, no, I ain't going out. But we're not. Are we seeing this? I don't understand it. I'm working hard, carrying as normal, refusing to use the predictive program technology. Same ads. I'm. I'd rather be free and catch it and die of it. To be fair, than to live a life where I can't go out, can't do this. And are the people the problem? Just buckling under and doing what they're told. It's just rules. They're only rules. They're only legislative rules of society. You have a right to say no. Surely to God, you must have a right to say no. That's how I see it. But yeah, £10,000 fines. Can you? And the police have been warned about issuing them as well, haven't they? It's all about the money. Sick fucking motherfuckers they are. I'm sick of it. Public servants fining us. Can you believe this shit? And there's someone in a fat cat pension in a council, copping they deserve fucking rinsing as far as I'm concerned. And I'm hoping that I genuinely hope at some point the people of my country decide to say, yeah, no, we ain't having this no more. Not having it at all. Bob's your uncle. It's when your servants can start doing things like this, they're not your servants no more, they're your masters. We are sovereign free beings. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar we are. We're encapsulated into this wicked public sector system, and we got to do something about it. And I think that there will come a time when everyone just goes, yeah, right, we're having it. We're not having this no more. It's got to be done, isn't it? Do you not think? Absolutely, we're sovereign free beings. Yes, we are. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I plan to just carry on as normal. And be respectful of people, sure enough. Normal people, because what sort of a life are you having? What sort of a life are you having? There's loads of people that are just too scared to do this, too scared to that. They're too scared to go out. I feel for the elderly. They must be scared out of their wits. Must be. Free speech warrior to all. I don't know. What's that little yellow gremlin things? They look like little Pac-Mans. For what? Something that you've got 1 in 10 million chance of catching. I mean, I don't know, but we'll see. I think they're all becoming a bit of a laughing stock now, and I'm hoping that everyday normal people can see it. Everyone in their households. You've got to be questioning it, all right? D. Allen, all right, sweetheart. Hugs, Dave. They are hugs. Oh, hugs! Oh, I like hugs. Well, you're not allowed hugs. What? You can't hug each other. You're not allowed to. And it's quite... That's the sad part about all this, isn't it? We've lost our humanity, our spirit. We seem to be losing it. Oh, you can't hug no one. You can't touch them. Oh, no, they've got the lurgy. I mean, I'm sick of it, man. And we need to put a cross on this quickly. We need to stamp on this. It's quite funny how people just believe what they see on the BBC. And I'm just rambling tonight. I don't even know why I popped over it. I just thought, no, let's come over. Let's see who's on. Let's just keep this party going. England is a communist country. You bet it is. My God. You know, just going down the social club. We all live in a community. These are all communistic things, you know. What community do you live in? No, I don't. Don't live in a community. Yeah, we're all in this together. What the fuck? Research YouTube, the River's Edge predictions, Trump solar flare, Great Awakening lockdown, intriguingly interesting information. Read the 21st of December. Wow. Kenneth Noel Curran. I've got a funny feeling that later on this year in December, something real big goes down. I do. I just think that there's something that really just sets the world like big time. I've got my little heater. It's just keeping me warm. I'm not staying long tonight, but we've got to get this message out, right? And we need unity. We need people all to come together. Stop fighting, stop bickering, stop arguing. Just come together, man. Lovely to see you. Seeking truths. Oi, how are we doing? Now we can see the enemy. Yeah, mate, I agree. You're bang on. Kurt Brown got told to leave my parents' house again today. They love their BBC, and there's nothing I can do now. No, man. Where's the love? Mickey Ramo. Exactly. Where is the love? I grew up in a loving environment. You know, what are we without this? There's been something happened with, what is it? Isn't it long enough? That 5-year-old's going to go, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I don't like it. It's dangerous. I think it's dangerous. We're nothing without each other. Mate, you're on the money, Mick. Let me tell you. You're on the big £50 note there, son. We are nothing without every single one. Look, everything that we do in this world, we're always relying. You know, you're relying on someone to stack the shelves. You're relying on someone to man the petrol pumps. You're relying on a doctor to give you something when you're not well. You're relying on a nurse to put a drip in your arm and not cause you too much harm. We all generally, you might rely on someone to come and fit you a boy. You might rely on someone to cut your grass. There's all these different things we rely on people for. And we all, mate, how true is that? We are nothing without each other. That's what we do here. We're, and this is the reason why we're in this mess, because our psyche of we have to trust other people to do things for us, I think, is why we're in this mess as it is. You know what I mean? Lord knows if the old bill tried to give me £1,000 fine, ain't happening. That fine's getting jogged on straight away. There's just no chance I'm ever going to have anyone in public servitude that requires my consent ever trying to do that to me. That is just sick. It's immoral. They should be ashamed of themselves. You're finding someone 10 grand in these times where there's all it. You should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, really, really ashamed of yourself. It's just not right, is it? That's how I see it. I don't think public servants should ever be out to fine you for anything. You can't, you know, you're out on the road, they pick on your car, you know, you got bald tyres. Well, where's the crime? Where have I hurt somebody? I haven't. You're just trying to book me up so you can have a few quid. You're just enforcing corporate rules so that your bosses can have a nice big yacht and a big place in Marbella. Well, that's got to stop, man. Listen to talk radio earlier, the way these people speak, the facts need to follow orders. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's all about following orders. I know they're dangerous. You know, where do they stop? The police now, where do they stop with the following of orders? What will they not stop at if they're told to do it? That's quite scary. Yeah, the Dave the Tool Station Rebel, bless. Yeah, how you doing, Free Speech Warrior? You all right? Yeah, we're all good. Free Speech Warrior, I love it. Yeah, Tool Station, they're going to be paying out, and it's going to go to the homeless and food banks. It's going to be good. I can't believe we've got another 4 weeks minimum. Tony, is disgraceful, isn't it? I mean, I've not paid attention to this thing. Personally, I think all this mask wearing stuff the government, what they've made people do in the last 4 months, 5 months in this country, I never thought I'd ever witness in my lifetime. It's unbelievable. It really is. The amount of stuff they've done. I just, and people just believe it. They no research. Everyone's going to be out jumping for this vaccine. It's not tested. You can throw as many million pounds at these things, these vaccines, and say, "Oh yeah, it's all good for you." But the only thing, you can't buy time, people. You need to buy time. You've got no idea how powerful vitamin D, vitamin C, all minerals and supplements and good food. Eggs. Eggs is the superfood. If you eat 3 eggs a day, man, it ain't doing nothing to your cholesterol. There's all the folic acids in all your eggs. There's every mineral that you can name, every vitamin under the sun. Eggs are just the bad boy of superfoods. They really are. Put that with an avocado, and let me tell you, you're winning. God has this covered. Great things coming. Yes, free speech warrior. I agree. We have to stay close to the faith. I think personally, at the minute, I hang on to my faith and the good book like you've got no tomorrow. I mean, I've got Bibles everywhere, because when the wolves are circling, the sheep always flock to the shepherd, and we have to. We need some land for patriots to live on. Of course, Tony, wouldn't that be fantastic, wouldn't it? Noisy Tone, how are you, gorgeous? Love it to see you. I don't want to be governed anymore. No, it's all about giving back their stuff. They only own a piece of paper. They don't own the soul. And if you start using words like soul and harm and spirit, you're harming my spirit and soul. They take they have to step back then. The court clerks, the judges all have to step back, because their whole system is about protection of the spirit and the soul. And that might sound a bit far-fetched, but that's the truth. To them, you're all dead, lost at sea through the SESKV. And until the man proves or the woman proves that there's life there, once life has proved, and you start using words like spirit, soul, you're harming my soul and spirit, they're back off. They have to. They've got no choice. Mitchy Seymour, how you doing, mate? Nice to see it. Some buffering, time vortex. Big brother needs to wake up and start interfering with a truth detector's naming, shaming, exposing as necessary and appropriate those with blood on hands, child abuse. I agree, Kenneth. God bless you. What a dude you are. Herd Opportunity. How you doing, sweet cheeks? You all right? Carlos, oi, squavaloy. I'm amazed how easy it is to manipulate this amount of people. It is. There was a facial recognition. There was a lad gone into a Walmart or somewhere, or so I don't know if it was in this country or America, and he took a mask and he put the mask on and he looked at the picture and he got the screenshot. I don't know how he got these pictures, but when he's got his mask on, it didn't highlight his face and put a big yellow thing around him. Right, that was what it did. It put a yellow square round. Okay, he took his picture, but it didn't highlight him. But when he took his mask off, it's highlighting. So the system, the people that run this system, are seeing who is not tolerating this stuff and having it. It's funny old times, man. Funny old times, and they continue to put 5G towers up left, right, and centre. I tell you, England is just an industrial wasteland now. I tell you, it is. Years and years ago, you could go from one end of the country to the other by treetop and follow a squirrel. It'd go from Edinburgh to Land's End. It'd go everywhere. Now, my good God, everywhere they just want to build. They want to decimate. They want to build. They want to decimate. It's just a joke. Who knows? It's mankind, isn't it? Mankind's a wicked thing, especially when it gets greedy. And that's all that's happened. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are tuning in tonight, there's been a Rothschild's bank set ablaze in Paris over the weekend, and Paris has basically had a meltdown. The Parisians have said they've had enough. They've put up their frog legs for the weekend and put up their cheap plonk and said, no, we're having it. We're out. And they've gone out. Let me tell you, I think a lot of police have stood down and a lot of police apparently out in France have been beaten up. My only hope is that they don't actually, if they get pushed too far, the French people, I just hope they don't get the guillotine out. That might sound a bit crazy, but if they carry on doing what they're doing, they will get their guillotines out, and they will drag people out, and they will put them in them. I paid attention to all that stuff at school. I don't know why. I just did. They were very fascinating subjects to me. Every couple of 100 years, we seem to have a heads off. Darren Brown done a similar trick, wallet on the floor with a yellow circle around it. People left it. Bomb. Don't need to prove it to them as long as you know. Yes, Carrie Ann. Lovely to see you, Carrie Ann. How are you? Free of Toxic Carols. That's a great number. Great profile name. Poor old Rothschild's not. It's the banking sector really that's pulling all the strings. They want, there's all these ads on the TV now. People paying for beggars on the streets with their phones, paying for their food, paying for their bus stick. They don't want people handling banks. They want the banks pretty much shut. They want you on this social credit score, and that's where it's going. That's where it's going. It really is. It's quite a sad thing. But this great reset there's nothing great about this reset. And how long is everyone going to continue to tolerate this for? How long are they going to be continuously fining people 10 grand? How long do people have to wear the masks for? I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm getting warm now. Let's turn that down a bit. Oh, scorching up. But it's nice, folks. It's nice and warm over here. So yeah, we're in some. I'll come over here for a bit of a philosophical. I can't even say the word philosophical one tonight. I guess I'm just chilling. The missus is indoors. We've got the log burner going. It's beautiful time of year. Freezing cold outside, but toasty roasty indoors. It's all good fun, people. It's all good fun. So look, just pay attention. Watch what's going on. Be mindful. Be mindful of what's being offered, because they're now saying, look, listen, you don't have to have the jab. It can't be mandatory. But if you don't have the jab, you won't be flying. Oh. And if you don't have the jab, you won't be going to the cinema. Oh. And we might stop you coming into other events and places. Oh, you ain't got a jab? No, you ain't coming in. So pretty much they're going to squeeze it to a point where you ain't got the jab, you ain't coming in. I personally see the jab as a Luciferian doctrine, because you don't have to have it, but if you don't have it, then basically your life's not going to be worth living, because you won't be able to function. I'll tell you what, I've had enough of it. Only if we're the people allow it. Absolutely, we are the people, and we need to rise, and we are rising, thank God. I was told years ago by an accountant that cash, we know, is going to go bye-bye. Yeah, it will do. It's weird old times, man. Kid teeth fall out. Where they're going to put the quid under the pillow from the tooth fairy? They're going to scan their bank accounts. I can't believe it. Can't survive without using an account. You need to be under the Vatican last name for all person. Yeah, I agree, Dave. I'm not having it. Sonia Ballascott, I love you for that one, mate. Fair play to you. If your name ain't Dan, you're not coming in. Exactly, Carlos. Exactly. The devil is certainly playing his fiddle, isn't he? But it's what a weird time. It's just a joke, isn't it? They ain't injecting a poison to me. No, why would we be fining people 10 grand? Why are we fining people anyway? You're not supposed to be. You're breaking COVID restrictions. What's your name and date of birth? We're giving you a 10 grand fine. Sometimes I struggle for words. I do for these people. I tell you, when you live in a country where your public servants beat the very thing they swear to protect, you're in for quite a hair-raising future. It's the so-called mark stamp of the beast. Absolutely right, Cayman. I ain't having none of it. I'd rather die than live under that beast system. I've got to be honest with you. I really would. Peeps, I'm going to go. I'm going to go back indoors. Probably need to stick another log on my burner, because my missus will let it go out. Actually, no, she's pretty good. She come in tonight. She went, oh, it's freezing outside. Russell, hello, mate. How you doing? They ain't injecting the poison at me. And let me tell you, the police have been very violent this weekend. And a lot of people in my Kent group on this WhatsApp, they've seen They're now seeing the people of this country, the 65 to 70 million people, are now seeing what their public servants are up to. Interesting. They said no mandatory vaccines. They said no second lockdown. They can't make. Look, listen. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast tonight, we've had, in my life, we've had things that you might not want to catch. The one in the 90s was AIDS and HIV. I had young kids. My son was born in 1988. I was married. That was a big concern for a lot of people. They kind of got a spin on it. But we never locked down. We never shut everything up. We never did anything against people's wishes, right? Now, my mate's just been in hospital for a little thing with his kidney, because he wouldn't have none of this COVID bollocks put up his nose. They were trying to sex him under the mental health and had big security guards following him around wherever he went. I mean, fuck's sake, what the fuck's that all about? And then we've had SARS, we've had swine flu, we've had bird flu, we've had H1N1, and too many to even probably talk about. We live in a toxic planet, right? But we've never talked about false vaccinations. We never put what's so different about this one? I would bet you bottom dollar that AIDS and HIV killed more people than this thing. Far more. And probably continues to kill people today, HIV, I'd imagine. But we've not all had to have mandatory vaccines. We've not all had this thing called lockdown where you can't go out. Yeah, personally, it's martial law. We got through every other thing. Now, if the government at the time with AIDS had said, well, we need to lock down, and it had been on the national media, you bet the country probably would have locked down and gone through all this bollocks. Because they're all sat in front of this fucking thing, right? Believing it as gospel. And it's up to you. You make your choice. You should have freedom of choice. You've got freedom of expression, right? You were born with these gifts. It's not something that the BBC can tell you must have. It's not something that the police tell you must have, or a judge tells you that you must have. You were born with these gifts. They're a given. Whether you choose to use them or not, it's up to you. It's really up to you. But because this one has come out and it's, we've got to have a lockdown, people looking at each other thinking, I'd imagine most people looking around, what the fuck's a lockdown? But because Boris, it's all dribbled out of his fucking mouth, people are like, oh yeah, better do as we're told, rather than question it. All these other things we've had over the years, swine flu, bird flu, quite tasty, H1N1, no lockdown, no civil liberties, no businesses shutting down. Everyone just dodged the bullets and carried on as normal. I've carried on as normal all the way through my life. Even if a bomb landed on top of me, if I still had two legs to get out and walk away and go and crack on, I'd go and crack on with a smile on my face. Because that's what life's all about. Life's for living, people. It's not for being cowards and sitting in corners and being too scared shitless to go and walk down your road to a shop to get a pint of milk. The amount of people that have been scared shitless over this is unbelievable. And I would warrant it if the means justified the ends. If there was half of my village dead, I'd say, yeah, no, the BBC are right. Boris Johnson is right. But out of 14,000 people like me, now, listen, I don't live on another planet. I live in England. And out of my village and the next village of 14,000 people, approximately 14 to 15,000 people, we've lost one old boy to COVID-19. Right, one elderly gentleman to COVID-19, and I've got friends of mine telling me that they've had friends pass away of this, that, the other, and doing all sorts of things. It's not honest. But then again, when has government ever been honest? It would under me and people like me. It would be proper honest. And what you would find yourself in, you'd find yourself in a situation where if things went Pete Tong in your life and you needed assistance, you got that assistance. Say, for instance, you were self-employed and your van blew up and you got a family of kids. You'd ring a number and you'd get a brand new van so that you can carry on as normal. That's a flourishing company. country. A flourishing country is one that bolsters its people. It's one that puts pride into its people. It's one that cares for its people and looks out for their well-being. But we don't have that. We have people looking out for us that browbeat us and keep us in submission. And as long as I've got breath in my lungs, I vow to each and every one of you, we will put an end to this. So keep trucking, keep rocking. I'm going back indoors now. I love every single one of you. Please share, do whatever you've got to do. You know, just whenever you talk to people, don't bash them over the head with it. Just be nice to them and let them try and get it in their own way. And if the seeds go in, they water them themselves. Take care, peeps. I'll see you all very soon. And wrap up warm because it is a very, very chilly one tonight. God bless you all. I'll see you soon.